Welcome into this Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham and Neal McCready, Clark Ford studio this morning. Ole Miss basketball falls to 0-2 in the SEC, losing to Arkansas on Saturday evening at the Pavilion. The last college football game of the year is tonight in New Orleans, LSU and Clemson for that one as well. I think Neal can clinch Neal's picks tonight with a win. I think so, because I think you're up 3. If you won tonight to go up 4, there'll be 3 games remaining. So
wow.
I think you can clinch tonight if I'm right in saying that. Yeah, no.
How about that?
I think the Texans blowing the lead yesterday and the cover puts you in this situation versus going in tonight only 1 game up and everything getting a little interesting at that point.
Wow. What a big moment.
What's a big moment?
Big moment in my life.
Yeah. Just trying to people helping people, trying to give you a little
Boy, that cash
positivity.
That cash prize is going to go a long way.
That's a lot of currency with those bragging rights, isn't it?
Wow, yeah, I tell you what.
We'll talk about that. Looks like Derrick Henry's back at Ole Miss after a couple weeks of absence there. Wide receivers instead of running backs now. Will be his 13th season, I believe, in 2020.
That's correct. He started when I started.
So we'll discuss that and more coming up on the Oxford Exxon Podcast. The Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West, lunch specials, ribs, daiquiris, lots of flavors, and make a good time for a daiquiri. Actually, I wouldn't mind having a daiquiri this morning. So a lot of sizes, a lot of flavors there available with that. Oxford Crystal next door. You know, your basketball ticket is a coupon, $150 off a sackful or a steamer pack there with the Oxford Crystal. And if you're around the Saltillo area and you need employment or you just want to enjoy some Crystal, the Saltillo Crystal open now as well, or will be open soon. I think it's this week. DM Oxford Exxon or Oxford Crystal on Twitter if you're interested in employment there. Again, coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's that simple. Pardon me, it's right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote, and the rest is up to you. I would suggest that when you get your quote, you go ahead and get started on your purchase. You will love your Clark Ford vehicle. You will absolutely love the service that you get after the sale. Corey wants to be your car guy. He wants to be your truck guy. He will take care of you. 662-257-1900. Guests will join us this week on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Tonight, the pregame party begins at 5, featuring great appetizers, a full menu, and $3 ice-cold beer. It's the national championship game, LSU versus Clemson, the Battle of the Tigers. It'll be showcased on the big screen, so join the fun at Rafters Music and Food there on the square in Oxford.
Where do you want to start? What do you want to talk about today?
I don't know.
Are we worried about LSU a little bit since Ed Orgeron doesn't know who Rocky and Drago are? Does that change our opinion of everything as we go into tonight?
Do we believe that?
You think he was being football coach?
Are we doing?
You think he was doing the Nick Saban football coach thing?
I do.
Do you?
I do. I find it very difficult to believe that Ed Orgeron,
at his age, given the political, the pop culture, pop culture status of that movie while he was those ages.
And given what he does for a living and the type of people that he is around every day, I find it impossible to believe that he does not know who Rocky Balboa is.
Don't think so.
I don't believe that.
Okay. So why not just say it?
Because football...
It's Saban's shtick, but why everybody else?
Football coach is football coach. These are not the smartest people on earth.
Just be human.
Just be human. Be human, because it's football serious.
Because Dabo's not human. He's a walking disrespect card that's driving me insane. Now, look, it's his job just to motivate his team and win games. So whatever, I don't care. Whatever. He's doing his gig, and if that resonates with them, all for it. But good God, it's driving me insane. You've won 30 in a row. You're trying to win 3 of the last 5 national titles or something. I don't know.
You're going to be preseason number 1 next
good
year.
God,
your quarterback's probably going to win the Heisman next year. You're getting 5 of the top 10 players in the country. The respect card? Shut up. But yes, Ed Orgeron knows who Rocky Balboa is. And quit complaining about the damn game being in New Orleans.
Who's complaining about that?
Dabo.
He complained about that too?
Might as well play in Baton Rouge. Shut up, man.
It was already set up. What do you want to do?
They've been playing championship games in New Orleans forever.
And they're going to continue.
They got lots of hotels, lots of convention space. They got a big indoor stadium.
So
it's
weather doesn't matter.
Party. Weather doesn't matter. It's usually
and
warm,
everyone likes going.
and most people like visiting. That's why they're getting ready to move games to Las Vegas. They don't play the game in Detroit because it might be icy and people can't get in. People can typically get to New Orleans. They got lots of places to party, lots of hotels. It's easy. New Orleans is a tourist city.
Do you typically see the end of these games? Because they take forever. They start kind of late. As long as Super Bowl starts at 5:20 or whatever it is, this thing's late.
I have a schedule issue tonight. Carson has a basketball game at 7:30.
Ooh. Who scheduled that?
The Oxford Park Commission. Be
Okay.
nice. Sign your kid up for spring baseball right now at oxfordparkcommission.com. So when we get back, I assume I'll take him. Take it 8:45 getting back. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm more interested in what's happening on The Bachelor than I am in this football game tonight.
The football game has me very interested. It does. It has me very interested. I don't know why. Usually I don't care. I have not cared about any of the Alabama-Clemson ones.
Yeah.
There's something about LSU in this game tonight that has me very interested. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, my Louisiana roots kick in on some of this kind of stuff.
They do.
I'm not cheering for LSU, but I'm absolutely fascinated in LSU. But I'm also fascinated in The Bachelor because I do want to see how they solve this Hannah thing. Now, we might...
She's just going to go away.
We might...
Eventually.
We might... So what I might do is put the game on my phone and be able to just kind of see it, and then I can flip if the moment gets to where I want to see it.
So,
but if it's like a 10 to 14 point game, I'm not particularly interested.
If I give you even odds, does Hannah show up in the season finale episode? Is she still around or come back to any extent to show up in the season finale episode? Yes or no?
Well, I wonder because they've done. My guess is yes.
Okay.
Because they've done this thing, this teaser at the very beginning of the show where they flash forward to the end and he's all verklempt. He's all just in a mental state.
Yeah.
Because something happened.
Chris is trying to explain it and console him.
Chris is like, "Hey, look, man, we got it. We felt like we need to tell you about this."
Okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So I don't know what I'll do. I haven't decided. It's going to be a spur of the moment kind of deal.
It will have to be really close for me probably to stay up to the end. I don't think we'll get there unless it's a barn burner. But yeah, I'm in. All good. I don't know.
The game starts at 7. Is that what time it kicks off, or is that what time they start talking?
There's no way
forever?
that's the kick. Yeah, I bet that's not the kick. I want Burrow to win. I like him for some reason. Pretty all in there. I don't know. We'll see. You laid the 6.5. Is that correct?
I did.
Still feel good about that?
Well, I mean, I feel consistent about that. I laid LSU points all year.
It says 7, but I still have a hard time believing it kicks at 7. But
It kicks at 7. It's over at about 10:45.
Yeah, that's okay. We're fine then.
I'm
Okay,
fine,
we're
yeah.
good then.
Past
It's the
11.
7:40 kick that
That
you're
goes
like,
till
okay,
11:30.
yeah,
Then I'm like, come on, people. And if you're on the East Coast, that's 12:30.
It still is going to run somewhere into close to midnight on the East Coast.
Yeah. You got to care. You got to care to stay up till 12:15, 12:30 on a Monday night when you got to get up at 5 something to get ready to fight the traffic in Philly. You got to care. Or be an insomniac.
What's our interest level next weekend in the conference championship games? We'll get to basketball in a minute. We got time.
So it's San Francisco and Green Bay. I'm interested. San Francisco looked good.
They did.
And then
Minnesota looked awful.
Tennessee, Kansas City. I'm kind of in. The Titans are fun right now, but the Chiefs, man. What the Chiefs did yesterday kind of felt like that was their one bump in the road. They survived it, and off they go. Of all the teams, they looked the best.
I scored them 51-7 after the deficit.
Patrick Mahomes is a bad boy. I mean, if I'm the people that run the Bears, every single time I'm tempted to go up to the top of the Sears Tower, just leap.
That's what they're I believe it was the Chicago newspaper. Is it the Trib that's the main one now? Which one? What's the more dominant paper in Chicago now?
I guess it's the Tribune.
I think it was this morning. Their front page was looking at essentially how there are so many options at quarterback better than Trubisky. It was like a big line of quarterbacks, and it was the three that they didn't take. It was Watson and Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, and then it was Burrow and somebody else. I forget who was on the Trevor Lawrence, I guess, on the other side as well. Yeah. So it was a big thing about how basically, hey, anybody else would be better than this.
Yeah, well,
it's not wrong, is it?
The Marcus Mariota rumor has steam in Chicago, and now is he a great quarterback? No. Is he better than Trubisky? Probably. Has to be. This has to be brutal for him. I'm sure he's happy for his teammates and all that kind of thing. But week after week after week of watching Ryan Tannehill take the Titans within a game of the Super Bowl has to be brutal.
Tannehill gonna get paid.
He is. That game proved that there's different ways to win a football game. You don't have to be wide open. I think he only had 100 yards passing. Very efficient, though. And Derrick Henry. Whew.
Like I said, you got Derrick Henry.
Whew.
Defense doing a good job.
Taylor Lewan is as good of an offensive lineman as you'll see.
Yeah, nobody's criticizing the Titans for their decision that year. There are some programs that can be, or franchises that can be criticized, but
there's something.
Did you get that too?
Which one?
The text. Oh, never mind. Maybe it didn't come to you too. I'll tell you in a minute. No, okay, sorry.
I didn't get a text. No,
sorry, people.
I'm not in the cool kid club.
You didn't get that one? I thought it might have been a group text. I'm sorry. All right. Well, no,
Derrick Henry is so big. He is huge. I've never realized how big he is. I was watching their post-game stuff. He's in the locker room, and he's just kind of down to a like bike shorts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not trying to be like whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you just can't help but notice how big of a human being he is. His legs are massive. Can you imagine being a 190-pound cornerback and running into that? I mean, it's Ole. It's not worth it. Go. Score. I don't care.
It's listed at 6'3", 240.
Oh, he looks every bit that.
Yeah, I would go over if you told me to go an over-under on 240, actually.
And it's just the way he's put together. Big, thick legs. Can't even imagine.
Laser 40 at 4.54.
Shoo, no.
Yeah, that 4.54 downhill at 240 pounds.
You're one of those 5'11", 191-pound cornerbacks who can really run, and that you got that in the open field.
You're just diving at his ankles.
That's why it gets better as the game goes on.
Because you can't go at his thighs or he'll give you concussion.
Yeah,
you can't go helmet into his thighs.
No, I mean his lower half. I mean, at the risk of sounding really, his butt is huge. That dude's just driving through you, and he's big up top. Can't imagine.
I'd really like Tennessee to win this football game. Having no emotional connection to anybody, I'd really like Tennessee to win this football game.
Oh, I mean, if you offered me Tennessee in the Super Bowl right now, I'm in.
We might get disowned by Gabe in this situation. He was not having a good afternoon yesterday for a little while, but it's I am getting a little. If the Chiefs win here, I am tired. That'll be it. The Kansas City sports fans got to shut up. You got a Royals World Series. The Chiefs are good. Okay, that's over. Shut up.
Quit whining.
Yeah, you got it now. You go. Cleveland whine, Buffalo whine. No, you're done.
No, if the Chiefs win a Super Bowl, you got to shut up about poor us.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear.
Royals went to 2 World Series and won one.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs would have won a Super Bowl.
So I think
with an elite quarterback who's going to be there a long time.
And then the NFC is interesting because I don't really like or hate either team. I have no real history other than San Francisco in 2011 with either one of them. I think though I will find myself pulling for Green Bay. No idea why.
Really?
But I just as I was watching yesterday, I found myself pulling for Green Bay over Seattle without really any reason why, and I think that will be the case against San Francisco as well.
Carson was really cheering for the Seahawks last night.
Was he?
He does not like the Packers.
Okay.
And he likes DK.
Okay.
So he was cheering for the Seahawks, and I caught myself with the Packer dislike kicks in, even though, the Bears thing's kind of silly, but I don't like Green Bay, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a particularly good person. It's my guess.
You don't think so?
My guess is not. You can hold a lifelong grudge against your family like that? Come on.
It's true.
Something kind of weird about that.
Him and Patrick Reed probably get along real well. Have a lot in common.
And I like Garoppolo.
Brandon Jacobs, 6'4", 264, 4.56 40.
The former Auburn running back. Is that who we're talking about?
Was it?
I covered Brandon Jacobs at Auburn, then he went to the Giants and actually had a pretty decent pro career for a little while.
I forgot about Derrick Henry having those stupid, Zach points them out, those stupid high school stats. He's like one of maybe the best high school running back of all time.
Well, yeah, can you imagine some poor high school kid who's just out there for exercise trying to tackle him?
Plays for the Giants. He's got him here. His high school stats, 24-65, 26 touchdowns, 27-88, 38 touchdowns, 26-10, 34 touchdowns.
I'm frankly surprised
Senior
it's not
year,
bigger than that.
42-61, 55 touchdowns.
See, that's what I sort of expected.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, who's tackling him?
Well, he's probably not playing all game in any of them. I mean, his team is beating the hell out of people, you would think. Yeah, he's all-time leading rusher in high school football history. I did think that. That's what I thought.
Can you imagine some high school linebacker like,
all week long you're watching film and you go, hey, I'm.
That's where if you're a parent, you're like, son,
don't be a hero.
Just in and out.
Don't be a hero.
Yeah. Don't stick your head in there.
It's the running back version, and we always joked around about watching Laramie's film and the poor defensive ends over there in high school.
Yeah.
When he was at Columbia, and you before the game, you just work out a deal with him. Look, I'm gonna chill. You chill.
I know you need your stats, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lay down. You fall on top of me, and it's a pancake. But let's not do this thing where you drive me through the parking lot. Let's not.
That's making you exert energy for no reason. It's potentially making me get hurt. It is what it is. You got a text now. I'm proud for you.
That was Campbell. Just left her French class. She just started her spring semester.
She's back.
Oh, yeah, she's back.
So she has a 7:30 again?
Mm-hmm.
So that went well, obviously.
Campbell is my kid. Bless her heart. You see that more and more. She got all of my DNA. The other two didn't get as much. They're more wired like Laura, but Campbell, bless her heart.
She adapted very quickly.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
Was she ready to go back?
Oh, yeah.
Was it time to go?
Oh, yeah. It's been time.
And that's a shorter break than Ole Miss has, because Ole Miss still not going back till next Wednesday or something.
If she had 2 more weeks, she would lose her mind.
She might have to go back early anyway.
It probably would have.
Where are her best friends from? Are they anywhere close by or what?
Shreveport,
okay,
Little Rock, Nashville, Dallas, Houston, everywhere.
Okay. She did make an appearance on the beer garden last week for anyone who has interest in that. We'll jump into basketball in a second. Again, Ole Miss losing to Arkansas. Before we do that, we'll tell you about Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting and processing is done in Memphis. You're getting local underwriting. Understands your market. A leader in condo financing, the float down option, and with rates as low as they've been in about 2 years. Good time to talk to Jason. That's 662-234-2704 or JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
On this podcast, we're always telling you that a trip to Oxford just isn't complete until you stop to visit our friends at Blue Delta Jeans. But in 2020, the Blue Delta team has some great news for our listeners that don't make it to Oxford as often as they should. Blue Delta's new website is a one-stop shop for blue jeans. Pick your fabrics, pick your threads, make all of your customization choices, and order your new Blue Delta jeans online without having to come to the Oxford studio. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com to get your new pair started today, and don't hesitate to reach out to the folks at Blue Delta anytime on social media or at info at Blue Delta Jeans to get your fitting scheduled today. We're also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, Grenada Nissan is the place to go. They've got a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Great lease deals as well. It's GrenadaNissanUSA.com. Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward and chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. These clear aligners are the virtually invisible way to improve your smile. So call Corinth Dental today for a no-cost digital scan of your teeth and let them show you the way to a straighter, healthier smile. 12 months, no interest, no down payment financing available at corinthdental.com. Splinter Creek, I got to turn that stupid iPad off. Good grief. Splinter Creek is a gated conservation community. It's located 8 miles southwest of Oxford and 75 minutes from the Memphis airport. SplinterCreekMS.com is the website. Call 601-898-2772 to schedule a tour with Tom Smith Land and Home agents today. They've been featured in Garden and Gun, Architectural Digest, and more. 34 lakefront lots ranging in size from 2 to 25 acres, 650 acres of lakes, pine and hardwood forest, private roads, running, cycling, hiking trails, a preserve for turkey and deer. It's a flyway for birds, home to bald eagles. It's an absolutely gorgeous place. If you're thinking about moving to Oxford, about retiring to Oxford, you owe it to yourself to put Splinter Creek on your list of places to look at. It's absolutely stunning, and you should check it out. The lakes are the main streets of Splinter Creek. Each one has a combination of docks, pavilion with fire pit, outdoor kitchen. The lakes were built for swimming, quiet boating, and fishing. Again, you should really check it out. SplinterCreekMS.com, 601-898-2772.
Yeah, I'm reading from the live stream here. We'll jump into baseball fairly soon. It's not today. Still got a while. They start practice this week. First game a month and a day away. It's a Valentine's night against Louisville.
Yeah,
4 o'clock.
I mean,
we're not there yet.
Yeah, we can't do a month of baseball preview. That's not possible.
No. Coverage will start this week. Coverage really starts the week of signing day, though. It's always kind of been the case. That's worked well from a schedule standpoint, and we'll continue with that for the most part. Reading here, I pulled up Ken Palm because I was interested. Ole Miss losing to Arkansas 76-72. I did not turn any of the game on until Ole Miss had a 64-56 lead in the second half. I think I watched 50 seconds or something like that. Arkansas had tied it on an 8-0 run right there. Isaiah Jobe just killing Ole Miss in every conceivable way. Rebels faltered down the stretch. They fall to 0-2 in the SEC. And I looked at Ken Palm because, kind of moving forward, what this thing looks like. They've got them overall, if they do not a game-by-game projection, but just a straight, here's what we think the season's going to turn out. Yeah. They have Ole Miss at 14-17 and 5-13 in the SEC.
Right now, 5-13
well,
feels like a stretch.
This is the more disturbing one, is if you go game by game. And again, you have to remember that they don't have caps on it like the net do, so they're still analytically getting killed from an Oklahoma State game. Okay. But at the end of the day, that's part of it, and there's a lot of sample size here beyond that. So they only have them projected to win 2 games this season the rest of the way. If you're doing a straight win-loss on every game.
Let me guess, South Carolina at home.
64%. They're predicting a 72-68 win.
And Vanderbilt at home.
That is correct. 74%. They are predicting a 78-70 win. Otherwise, everything's an L, or at least Ole Miss going into that game as an underdog. Here are the percentages to win games the rest of the way for the Rebels. 18, 37, 23, 29, 27, 16. See, here's the problem, is if that's it all true, considerable underdogs, meaning less than a third of a chance, analytically, in your next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, which would be halfway through the league almost.
Yeah, for people that are wondering, it's at Florida, LSU at home, at Tennessee, at Georgia, Auburn at home, at LSU, which right now...
Just a brutal schedule.
Right now, to me, all of those look like L's.
Yeah, that's a brutal schedule.
So that would put you at 0-8 in the league?
That would be 0-8. All baseball practices are open to the public, by the way.
What's the attendance at that South Carolina game on February the 5th, if that's the case? I mean, you'll get the handful of people that'll be there to talk recruiting to each other. I mean, I'm being serious. They were up 8. They were up
11.
Oh,
that's signing day night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were up 11. Twice in a week, double-digit second-half leads. And
Is there a glimmer of good sign in that?
I don't know. I guess.
I mean, I'm just asking. You did at least get up double figures at some point, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess. They actually played well against Arkansas for a stretch. They fell down 10-2, and then they played well for a stretch that, I don't know.
As long as Brian's out of his mind, they play okay.
They played well for about 20-something minutes. I wrote about this in 10 Thoughts, brought to you by Harry Alexander, harryalexander.com. Part of the deal with them is they're so thin right now as a roster. They only played 8 guys. Bryce Williams is out with the groin injury. Luis Rodriguez is out, likely for the season, with a foot injury.
Kermit finally said that the other day.
Yeah. That they're so thin, they're having to play Devontae and Brian crazy minutes. And not only crazy minutes, Chase, but they're really counting on them to not only play crazy minutes, but, hey, carry us. And that load's getting heavy. And late in games, they're just not playing well because I think they're a step slow late. Now, let's give some credit where credit's due. Musselman has Arkansas playing inspired basketball.
They are.
And Isaiah Joe is a first-round pick. Anybody that wonders if Isaiah Joe put on a clinic in the second half Saturday. He's a first-round pick. But Arkansas is as weak of a team as Ole Miss will see in the front court all season. This was going to ultimately kill them, probably knock them out of the tournament, is they just can't rebound. I don't know. Kermit seems bewildered at this team, that they're just not tougher than they are. I don't know the answer. I don't know that there is an answer.
It's a pretty good question on the stream. Brian's done after this year. Who scores on next year's team?
Here's your smart-ass answer right now, and I don't mean for it to be smart-ass, but Matthew Murrell. And boy, when you're counting on a true freshman come in and carry us, that typically doesn't work well. They needs to be Blake Henson and KJ Buffin, but they've regressed. Now they were both
okay Saturday.
They both played well for a stretch, but then late in the game they were bad. Bad shot selection, a terrible turnover by KJ.
It was.
Just a terrible turnover. Give Arkansas credit. Who made the clutch plays? Every single one of them. Arkansas. They played hard. They didn't fold the way I thought they kind of folded against A&M.
A&M 2-0 in the league.
Oh, he's a hell of a coach.
Well, they played Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
They opened Ole Miss Vanderbilt.
Now,
they did go to Nashville and win by 20.
2-1 in the league because they lost in Fayetteville.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, yeah. That's right. I mean, they're not good.
No.
But Buzz is a good coach.
He's a hell of a coach. He's going to win.
He'll figure it out.
He'll win everywhere he goes.
That schedule, I'm going to stay on this forever because it kind of is what it is at the moment.
Ronald Mathis says tourney hopes. Yeah, I mean they're 99th in the net. I mean,
it would take a lot of work to even get back on the bubble at this point.
Well, you'd have to go something like 4-2 in these next 6. I mean, if you see that coming, then please come over and hand me some of that optimism.
Well, 4 on the road too. I mean, if they win a game out of the next 6, I mean, how are we ranking these things?
I mean, if you made me give them a chance, I'd say 30% at Florida, about 30% at home against LSU.
Ken Palm says 37 against LSU.
I'd give them about a 25% chance at Tennessee, about a 25% chance at Georgia, about a 10% chance against Auburn. I think Auburn's
even
terrific. Yeah, I don't care. And then I think Auburn's terrific. And then
it's in Baton Rouge after that.
About 15 to 20% at Baton Rouge. And then I think they could beat South Carolina if they're not just done by then.
Florida at home is a winnable game. You have to play really freaking well, but it's a winnable game.
Mississippi State at home is a winnable game. At Kentucky is very difficult. At Missouri is very difficult. They really handled Florida the other day. Alabama, to me, is one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the league. I think.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, I like what they do. At Auburn's almost impossible. Vanderbilt at home should be a win. Missouri at home could be a win. At Mississippi State at the end will be very difficult. Tough.
Not much there.
I mean, 4-14, 3-15 is on the table, and I don't know how well Kermit Davis doesn't have a lot of those kind of seasons, and I don't know how. I'd hate to be a middle dude on that roster. But you can't just throw the roster in a blender at the end of the year. I mean, you do have to be conscious about APR and some of those things.
Well, also, there's no way to just completely rebuild the whole thing. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't go find 10 players.
I don't sense that they're going to give up on Crowley. I don't sense that they're going to give up on Franco Miller. Now, I'd hate to be some of the other cats right now. I don't think they give up on Sammy Hunter.
No.
Sammy's just raw. And Hadim will be back and should be better as a senior. I don't know what happens with Devontae. Blake and KJ will be back for their junior seasons, I would certainly anticipate. I think Blake shows real signs of having missed an offseason.
Yeah, on paper, it's C and Buffin and Henson being the leaders.
Yeah, well, I mean, on paper, it's Devontae and Morrell, and then C, Buff, and Henson. The problem right now is they can't play KJ and Blake together for some reason. They just, defensively, the lapses are just killing them. Crowley's got to get better. Got to get better. Miller's got to get better. They got to get Williams back. Luis Rodriguez will be back, and that will help.
And I know a dumb answer here, but it's the middle of the season. There's only so much you can do. There's not a lot of improvement, a lot of recovery, a lot of repairing this in the middle of the season. Playing every 3-4 days, you're just back at it. I mean, you can tinker.
Well, no, but they fly to Gainesville today. I mean, it's a grind. It's league play. It's a grind. If you're not ready for it, it will eat you up and spit you out. We see it all the time. You see teams every year. Vanderbilt wasn't an 0-18 team last year. It just spiraled on them. It's a tough league. And Ole Miss's problem now, and I kind of tried to make this point in 10 Thoughts yesterday, is that in a league that's going to be a 5-bid, maybe a 6-bid league at most, everyone's going to look at that Ole Miss game. You're going to get everybody's best shot because you are a W. No one's going to let up for Ole Miss. They're going to, hey, guys, we got to have this one. Like if you're Florida, you're locked in tomorrow night because you lose to Ole Miss and Florida's net's in the 50s. You lose to Ole Miss and all of a sudden your net's in the 70s and you're not anywhere close to the bubble.
Yeah, suddenly Ole Miss is becoming one of those, if you're not careful, one of those landmines to avoid.
Well, they're literally one spot away from being a landmine.
Out of the top 100. I guess technically the net's a little different on there, whatever. But yeah,
a little bit. But you don't want to screw it up.
I was going to look for that in a second, actually.
I had it in 10 Thoughts as of yesterday.
No, I was looking at where the cutoffs are on the quadrants or whatever it is. I was just curious as much as anything.
LSU's really good up front. They're going to give Ole Miss fits on the glass Saturday. Tennessee's good. Georgia has Edwards. They're good. They're playing with a lot of confidence. Auburn just destroyed Georgia. Auburn's really good. I like Missouri's team, and their net's more bubbly than a lot of people's. He's done a good job with that team. They whipped Florida.
Yeah, kind of laid an egg against Tennessee and then played well against Florida. That's everybody in the league, though. It's just what's happening. It's toss
it in a blender.
It's what the overall. I mean, Michigan State scored 37 points Saturday in a loss.
Yeah, it's college basketball right now. I mean, who in the SEC would you look at and go, yeah, that's a second weekend team? Gun to your head. That's a second weekend team.
Auburn.
That's it. You
Kentucky.
stop right there. I'm not willing to go there with Kentucky yet.
But if I had to go yes or no, I'll still say yes.
Okay. Well, I'd probably say yes, but I'd be nervous about it. Then if you told me there was a third one, my money right now would be on Alabama. I don't think Arkansas is a second weekend team. Can't rebound. If you told me Edwards carried Georgia into the tournament, I'd buy it.
If you're one of those people that just likes a crazy tournament, this is your year. because nobody, I mean, anybody could go on a run or not go on a run. This thing's going to be stupid in March.
There's no super elite team.
No, Duke's good.
Duke's very good. San Diego State's really good. Auburn's really good. There's some other good teams, but like I've watched some Big Ten games, not start to finish, just parts. They're all kind of the same.
The quadrants for net is quadrant 1 game is a home 1-30, a neutral 1-50, and away 175. Quadrant 2 is home 31-75, neutral 51-100, and away 76-135. Quadrant 3, 76-160 at home, 100-200, neutral 136-240 on the road, and then everything else is quad 4. So quad 1 games, 1-30 at home, 1-50, neutral, 175 away. So those are really the numbers.
Yeah.
You need quad 1 games. Those are the numbers.
Well, that's for Ole Miss the other night. That was where the blown opportunity was. They had an opportunity at a quad 1 win. Because Arkansas's 29, I think, had an opportunity at a quad 1 win and blew it. Had it in hand. Blew an 8-point lead in a minute. And it was a good call. By the way, people say it was a bad call. It was a good call. C pushed as the ball was in the air. And the official called it. Can't shove under the rim.
And this is kind of just one of those things because, again, this does not really matter. I mean, if we're in the old system, RPI, Ole Miss's RPI this morning is 127.
Yeah.
Down 28 spots the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is all the bye games, if you will, everything that's not Memphis, Wichita, Butler, every single one of them quad 4. None of those teams are even in quad 3. Everything in the very last quadrant.
I can't remember which team Kermit was talking about. We were talking in Jackson about net and stuff at the time before we started recording, and he told me there were a couple of the teams that they had played that they had scheduled them thinking they would be significantly better than they are.
And they're not. Yeah.
And they're not. And that's part of the –
some of that's a crapshoot. It is what it is.
In the end, it wouldn't matter. If they had a shot to have beaten Butler, and they could easily be 2-0 in the league right now, we'd be having a completely different conversation.
Including 3 teams in the 319th or worse.
Ooh.
Middle Tennessee, 319. Southeastern Louisiana, 324. Team that was in a game.
That was, looking back on
that was a sign.
That game was a sign that there were real problems.
And then Tennessee Tech, who was up at the half, or at least
I think so.
Close to it.
I think they were ahead at the half.
340.
Yeah. There have been
340.
This extends far beyond the A&M game. They didn't show up at Wichita. They were bad against Tennessee Tech, and they were frankly scared against Southeastern Louisiana. They were fortunate to pull that off. I remember Kermit's quote was, "This was a big win because a loss would have been disastrous." But you could tell he was concerned. Something was up.
Wichita's very good. They are.
Yeah. They're really good.
They beat Ole Miss and Memphis back-to-back. They went to UConn and won. I know UConn's not the old UConn, but still went to UConn and won. Their one loss is a neutral site game against West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss could easily be in a different spot. They could have beaten Memphis. They could have beaten A&M. Could have beaten Arkansas. And had they, we'd be having a completely different conversation right now. But they didn't. And I think it's hyperbolic at this point to go 2-16, 1-17, but you're going to have to beat somebody here soon because 0-8's on the table if you're not careful. And if you get to that place, you worry about just the mental approach. That was
kind of my point on Friday or Thursday, whatever day it was, when I was talking to you about that, is there is a certain record important, just sheer perception in trying to recruit and doing everything. There is a certain record necessary for that.
Probably so.
I don't know what it is, but there is.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to take anything away from Arkansas. They played well the other night. They made shots. Joe's a terrific player. Mason Jones is a very good player. Witt's a good player. They play the game the right way. They play hard. I thought their approach late in the game to get the ball out of Schuler's hands, to get the ball out of Tyree's hands was very effective defensively.
Sure.
Ole Miss needed someone else to score, and no one could get that bucket. And Isaiah Joe, again, is a – guys, he's going to go 15-16 in the draft. I mean, he's going to play in the NBA next year. But you don't – when you have an opportunity like that, when you're up 8, 9, 10 points late in the game, you got to finish it at home. You just have to.
Well, We'll talk about some other stuff in 1 second. We'll tell you about Mastercut's Lawn and Landscape, Perimeter Lawn Care throughout northern Mississippi, but a lot more as well, including custom playgrounds, retaining walls, pool decks, outdoor living spaces, paver patios, forestry mulching, and more. To get your dream backyard, go mastercuts.com for a free quote. That same free quote at 662-607-7773.
Dead Soxy wants you to know they have created socks that make an impact. Dead Soxy has teamed up with Vogel Alcove to help young children in the Dallas area overcome the lasting and traumatic effects of homelessness. These incredible socks were created by the very kids this program is serving. With 3 one-of-a-kind designs, each sock tells its own story. So visit deadsoxy.com. Click on the yellow banner at the top of the page to visit the collab page. 50% of all proceeds have been pledged to help break the cycle of child homelessness. Extend the season of perpetual giving and support this incredible collaboration. While the promo code will not apply to the Vogel Alcove collaboration, in order to maximize the donation, remember to enjoy the 30% off of all other Dead Soxy products with promo code Rebel Grove. Welcome to 2020, and as always, stay Soxy. Chase mentioned picks the other day. One pick left this week. We'll do another. We've got 2 more weeks of picks. They're brought to you by Southern Craft Stove and Tap. Southern Craft Stove and Tap has your pregame and pre-concert needs covered. So whether you're headed to Oxford for the Rebels SEC basketball slate or to Tupelo for one of the many events like Miranda Lambert on January the 16th, that's Thursday, make sure you get your event started off right with a visit to Southern Craft, conveniently located off Highway 7 and Sisk Avenue in Oxford and at 205 East Troy Street in Tupelo. Southern Craft has all your Southern favorites ready to serve your hunger needs. Or drop in and enjoy a curated cocktail or one of the many craft beers on tap. Don't forget to ask about their banquet room for private dining or to have all of your favorites catered for any occasion, from office to private event. It's now available in both locations at Southern Craft Stove and Tap. This podcast also brought to you by Nest and Wild. Sleep better with a Nest and Wild mattress. Nest and Wild is a Mississippi-based mattress company making a high-quality mattress delivered right to your door. They make buying a new mattress easy. Every Nest and Wild is 1 foot thick, giving you comfort and support that will last. A lot of online brands sell an 8-inch or 10-inch mattress with less support and durability. But from the twin size to the California King, every Nest and Wild mattress is 1 foot thick. They're 100% American made, and the pricing is very competitive, and it's made even better when you add in the podcast discount. It's a no-risk decision. Nest and Wild believes in their product so much that they're offering a 99-night trial on every mattress, so try it out. Sleep on it for 99 nights, and if you don't like it, you can return it. Go to nestandwild.com, order your mattress, use the podcast code REBEL20, and get 20% off your purchase. Your mattress will arrive at your door in 3 to 5 days. We're also brought to you by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust, based in Madison, Mississippi. They represent clients in more than 20 states. They've got advisors in multiple states as well. They provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and so much more. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity, and decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. So regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan built just for you. It's pintrust.com, PINN trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You get 10% off your first year's fee.
So looking at this, go back to the championship game for a second, then we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
All right.
I just saw this stat. If you're Clemson, I did not realize their pass defense. Now, again, they played in the ACC. Maybe nobody can throw it. I don't know, because I know that league was terrible. But I'm assuming these are given strength of schedule. Reading from Bill Connolly, ESPN, Clemson's pass defense statistics, as good as anything you'll see. They're first overall in passing SP+, third in passing success rate, first in passing marginal explosives, basically big play prevention, third in sack rate, and first in adjusted net yards per pass attempt. They get sacks from everywhere. I mean, pass defense-wise, they at least profile as the type of team that would really give Burrow a lot of problems. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I did not realize some of those numbers as I was getting to them.
I think if you're LSU, you want to jump on them. Because if it gets late into a game,
they've been there.
Clemson's played in these games. Lots of them, frankly. Can be a big moment for LSU. But nothing has slowed that offense down. The only defense that slowed that offense down all year was Auburn. That's it.
They played poorly against State for a little while.
Yeah.
More their fault.
But kind of in big games, that offense has shown up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't convince me that LSU arrived in Starkville thinking there's a chance we could lose today. That was kind of one of those days like, hey, we'll hit the button when we're ready. And they did. Kind of hit the button mid-part of the second quarter, if I recall correctly, and that was it. And
you still think it's overwhelmingly LSU in a crowd tonight?
Oh, yeah, my God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
It's been a party down there the last couple of days, I saw.
Been that. Supposedly, they really take, and not that anybody cares, but like they take care of media at this championship game in a way that is,
oh, really?
Oh, it's mind-boggling. It is not the Music City Bowl.
Pretty neat thing yesterday. Did you see this on Twitter where Gilbo found his dad's brick at the World War II Museum?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, Gilbo. They did a media event at the World War II Museum in New
Yeah.
Orleans yesterday, and I guess Gilbo's dad obviously was in World War II. He found his honorary brick in the museum and had laid his press pass down and took photos and stuff. Found it. It's really, really neat.
Oh,
It's
that's
kind
cool.
Kind of a neat moment there.
Yeah.
Yesterday. All right, so 2 spots open, potentially 1 spot open left on this coaching staff, depending on Freddie Roach. Is that where we're at? That's where we're at, right?
Yeah, I think that's where we are. I think Freddie Roach appears to be on
as of now.
Yeah, I've heard that he might have some NFL possibilities.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Nick's, I've confirmed that one. Surprised at that one, frankly. Had not heard that anywhere. Obviously, others had. I had not. I'm just gonna be honest. There's no point in spinning here. I'm surprised at that one.
You said this earlier. You're right. The biggest surprise about the Knicks thing is being removed from the staff only to come back. Because if you're planning on keeping him, or at least it's whatever, there have been spots open. It's not like you were completely making room for 10 new assistants and then something happened. So you easily could have just sat there and held him on the staff, continued doing what he's doing, and just moved offices, moved position rooms, whatever. Because all he's doing is switching from running backs to wide receivers.
Yeah,
that's the head scratcher to me, which logically makes it look like plans change, things didn't go maybe the way a path was planning to go from a coach standpoint, and then you ended up back here.
I know he wanted to get T. Martin. And, frankly, I was told as late as yesterday morning that wasn't dead, at least in T's mind. And apparently it was more dead in Kiffin's mind than it was Martin's. I know that there had been some conversation about Frank Wilson. I think Frank Wilson's going to end up on the LSU staff. I don't know whether there was somebody else contacted or not. I don't know. But obviously they decided to go back that direction. Yeah, like you said, and I said this morning before we hit the button, just kind of stands to reason that if you were going to keep Derrick Nix, who had a lot of connections with Mississippi kids, that you would have kept Derrick Nix. Not let Derrick Nix go and then bring Derrick Nix back. It's kind of a head-scratcher, but I want to be careful that I don't say something that makes it sound like I'm on some sort of a rampage, as I've been accused of being on this particular topic. As I've said all along, it doesn't matter to me whether they do or do not hire Derrick Nix. I'm just observing that it's interesting. And it tells you that they probably couldn't get a couple of people, and there was probably some pressure to bring him back. And who knows, maybe he had some other opportunities, and they had finally hit a place in terms of time that, hey, if we're going to keep him, we have to do it now. The whole wide receiver versus running back stuff.
Yeah, who cares?
Whatever.
They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal.
No.
Especially considering Lebby is just kind of coaching quarterbacks and can float around and do stuff because he's not the play caller. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got an offensive coordinator that's not coordinating necessarily, so.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin's the offensive coordinator and the play caller, so there is some ability to move around. And, I don't know enough about the intricacies of football to tell you about coaching wide receiver room versus the running back room. I don't know. I'm sure Derrick can figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's the least of any.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean,
I could walk into that room.
I'm thankful for a lot of questions on this stuff because it means you guys are engaged. But it's kind of like on defense, like who's going to coach linebackers? Who's going to coach safeties? I don't know. They'll figure it out.
I mean, I could walk into that room and say, "Hey, Jerry, hop on. Make sure you're on the bus at 2.
Yeah. Hey, protect the football. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Cradle it. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
You good?
Great.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
How's your knee? Awesome. Good.
Last year, Ole Miss's receiver room could have figured that one out.
Yeah. I mean, I could have walked in there and said, "AJ, DK,
How you feeling, boys?
y'all good? Good.
Good.
See you later."
Yeah.
You want to talk about anything? No? Good. Saw your Instagrams. Really good.
Attaboy.
Liked it.
You walk in Alongo's office. Hey, can we throw to the tight end? Look at this guy over here.
Yeah.
Just occasionally, can we shoot a ball his way? He never scored a touchdown. Think about that.
I know.
He never scored a touchdown.
It's almost mind-boggling. As big of a body as he is, you would think that you just figured it out.
I know it's been open.
He scored one in the NFL.
He has, yes.
Yeah.
A couple, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it's easier to get open up there. That's fine.
Yeah.
Windows are bigger.
Yeah.
I mean,
bigger field. There's more room. More grass to chase. The NFL level. Just bigger. And the corners aren't as good. So when you say, hey, just get open, it's easier to do at that level. The college level where the corners are so good.
Told you last week, reiterate here, history going to be so unkind to Longo and that little Ole Miss thing there.
The NFL field's bigger. It's a bigger field. The field's bigger. You ever been on an NFL field? It's like bigger and longer and everything. Wider, bigger. There's more room.
In Canada, yes.
I'm so sick of this.
I saw Longo on Twitter said he's already counting down the days to the next kickoff. Already sending out some more stuff.
Have you gotten anything?
I hadn't in a couple weeks. Again, though, it was not just me. It was a big media list. I mean, I think it went to I think it was everybody but you, probably. How'd you piss Phil Longo off?
I have no idea. I never got one. That's what's so funny is I get accused of all this stuff. I've never had conversations with any of these people. It tells you that the well gets poisoned pretty quickly. And again, man, I mean, I'm not trying to paint it with the broad brush, but
Philip Shue, a good point. The hashes being thin make it easier to get open. Yeah. It changes
more space,
everything.
More room, more grass.
When you run everything to the boundary side, there is more room over there.
More room, more grass. Corners aren't as good.
Rich Rod is different. I'm not saying he's going to age well or not from that situation, but I kind of want to see where he goes next and what he does. It's possible that just doesn't work anymore with him. Frankly, it might just be a sign that it was a bad hire.
I've heard Alabama
that his system doesn't work.
Alabama's kicked the tires on him. I would presume as an analyst. Yeah.
As I said, that was something that, frankly, there's a lot of, whatever.
Leif brings up a great point.
What's that?
It's a great point.
What's that?
This is going to really make you shut up.
Okay.
At the NFL level, the balls don't have stripes on them. At the college level, the balls have stripes. Total game changer in terms of trying to get the ball to the tight end.
Oh.
Maybe the stripes confused Dawson in the air. His eyes couldn't adjust.
Gotcha.
Take the stripes away and he's focused.
I was going to say, so much of what Rich Rod did, as we've said before here, was very innovative when he first started doing it. West Virginia, even early part of Michigan, 2006, 2007, 2008, even though earlier than that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's what everybody does now. It is standard. There's nothing about his system that is interesting anymore. Rodriguez.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, it's a dumbed down version of what a lot of people do, frankly.
Here's the Rodriguez thing. This isn't completely fair, but it is what it is. He will ultimately be judged on how effective whoever is the quarterback is going forward, especially if it's someone not named John Rice Plumlee. If it's Corral or even Dent or Tisdale that come in and next year put up big offensive numbers, that will be an unfair indictment, but an indictment nonetheless on Rich Rodriguez. In the same way that if John Rice Plumlee is the quarterback and has another year where he's really effective as a runner and this offense adjusts to it, that will show you that Rodriguez was right in doing what he did last season. So it's too early to say.
Don't really want to bring this topic up because everybody has an opinion and gets all frustrated with it. But I'm going to go quickly before we move on.
Okay.
Rodriguez, pro or con in that standpoint if Plumlee is the quarterback and becomes a pretty competent passer? On the right idea, didn't have time to develop it, or simply didn't develop? What do we got?
You would have to.
It'd be a positive, right?
Yeah, you'd have to say that he had the right idea.
Just didn't have time to work it out.
I think that'd be more than fair.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think to convict Rodriguez as not developing Plumlee,
a guy who'd only been here since August,
would be absurd.
Or June, whatever. He wasn't here in the spring.
Yeah,
I don't know when he
got there in June, but it'd be absurd.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There's only so much you can do. The quarterback indictment, if there is one on that staff, the one that is fair, is that they had built everything around Corral. Corral goes down with an injury, and when he comes back, they just aborted the plan and changed the offense. And they can say that they didn't change the offense, but they absolutely changed the offense.
Yeah, might not have changed the lexicon, but yes.
Might not have changed the terminology, but they completely changed the strategy.
Yeah, it did not look the same. And then when you brought Corral in, it was like, hey, we just need you to come in and throw the thing deep a couple times. Cool? All right, fine, whatever. I don't know why we're talking about this, but here we are.
Oh, just wait till spring. It's going to be constant. No Grove Bowl will ever be more analyzed.
We don't have the access anymore. I mean, we did have that, and now looking back, it was futility on our part. I guess it was before 2011. Was it 11? When that spring, because it was a big three-headed quarterback competition, we charted every throw those three guys made the entire spring.
Yeah.
It was Stout, Mackey, and Brunetti.
Yeah.
That triumvirate. Yeah.
In the end, we could have just said bad. Bad throws.
Now, Barry did become a very competent second guy that you could use in some ways later on.
Yeah.
Hugh did a pretty good job with him, but
he did.
Yeah, that was poor Zach Stout. And then that poor everybody, because that offensive line was just that 2011 team, man.
Ooh.
But yeah, we did. We charted every spring throw from Mackey, Stout, and Brunetti. Because I think that was the same time that we got in trouble with the Mackey concussion story.
They were testy that year.
Well, they knew they were bad.
They knew they were bad because they overheard me standing there one day saying, this team could go 1-11.
Damn near did.
Yeah. I was like, you're crazy.
I still think the year before would have been worse without Masoli.
Yeah. For sure. He won 2 or 3
Should have
games
gotten
on his
Heisman
own.
votes on a 4-18.
No doubt.
Dude just willing it.
No doubt.
Man, those were not fun times. Those were interesting times. Would not call them fun.
No.
That back half of the Nut tenure.
Oof.
Oof. There's a lot going on.
Those are 6 weeks that I don't ever get back.
What was
those last 6, 7 weeks of the Houston Nut year? Those were not fun days to show up and be a beat reporter. Especially not this beat reporter. I'll tell you what. It
did at least calm once you knew it was done. Once the Kentucky game happened, at least.
It's still pretty chilly. It'd be 55 degrees outside, and you'd walk on that practice field, and it would drop to about 19.
Week of the Egg Bowl, I remember he'd already packed the office and everything. It was like just boxes everywhere. We went in those little rooms for all the interviews and stuff. Just labeled boxes.
Yeah. He did chill that week.
He was fine that week.
He was fine.
It was over.
Yeah.
It's a really cold Egg Bowl that night. It was raining. I'm delirious. I don't know. It's Monday, and I'm all over the place.
It was a cold Egg Bowl.
It was cold.
Yeah.
It's always cold over there. It's an open press box, and you're freezing, and you're hearing the cowbell. It's miserable. It's freaking miserable.
There were people worked up in the press box. Like, what'd you expect?
Well, yeah, that was the...
Did you come here thinking
of
they were
all the
win?
games? There were several people, not just one. Several people in the press box that are just like banging tables and stuff. It's going. They're 2-9.
What did you think?
They suck. What
did you think was going to happen?
I mean, we're seriously in the middle of this game having conversations, going, "Hey, you think this team or that 08 State team would win? They played each other. What do you think?"
Like really thinking about it.
Yeah, like they'd be a little better here. They'd be a little better here. What do you think? Maybe. I mean,
well, it would have just depended on who wanted it more. That's what ultimately.
well, it would have actually.
Yeah, literally, because both teams were just horrid.
You missed the La Tech game. Lucky son of a gun.
I know. I was in Starkville for that Alabama game that night. Nick Saban was actually
Then I had a
pleasant
Louisiana
to
Tech
me.
writer sitting beside me going, Louisiana Tech really should be in the SEC. So I'm hearing that for 3.5 hours while I'm covering this game. I'm just going, oh, my God.
I grew up in Ruston. I've heard that all of life, and it's like you
know who I'm talking about. And it was just
yeah. It's like, come on, guys, stop.
Yeah, we can get David Brown on the podcast. We can tell a story time.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. That 09 Egg Bowl, now, that was one that I'm reading from the live stream here as we're talking.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one.
Yeah. Could have been worse.
They took a knee down there.
Well, walking off the field, I saw one Cameron Newton.
That's true.
Pumping a cowbell.
A lot changed. That
day could have gone worse for you cats. It was close.
That was Egg Bowl. That was the Cam Newton cowbell day, wasn't it?
Saw him with my own 2 eyes. Walked right past him. Decked out in maroon and white. And
just a little recruit from Belen at that point, just looking for a place to play.
That thing could have gone sideways for Ole Miss.
Been hanging a banner.
Seriously.
Well, talent-wise, team-wise, they weren't much worse than Auburn.
Might have won the whole thing.
I'm saying. I said last week, it was Cam and Fairley and just some people.
Yeah.
It's 2 dudes. Because Fairley was a dang good college defensive tackle.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Podcast brought to you in part by Tyson Drugs and G&M Pharmacy. Flu vaccines available, and you don't have to worry about a lot of things, including copays of most insurance plans for that. Also, they deliver local to your home or workplace. They offer MedSync to make sure they fill it for medicine. At the same time, every month, make it easy on you with one trip. And with Right Way Meds, they will individualize every single dosage. Make it easy to take the medicine when you need every single day. 662-236-2222.
I'll be requesting mailbag questions later in the day. The mailbag is brought to you by the Westin Jackson, where you can restore serenity to your soul at Soul Spots, the ultimate luxury spa experience in downtown Jackson. Indulge in personalized massages, signature facials, soothing body treatments, and so much more. And then head over to Estelle Wine Bar and Bistro, craft cocktails, curated wine list, breakfast, lunch, dinner, Sunday brunch, all of that at Estelle in the Westin Jackson in downtown Jackson. Podcast also brought to you by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. No matter what kind of trip you're thinking about, whether it's to Florida, to the Caribbean, to Europe, like Jay Tate is doing, John Edwards can take care of you. He traveled the globe for 37 years before he got into the travel business, and now he's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows John to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. Get in touch with him, give him some parameters, give him a budget, and he'll give you options that you're not going to find on your own. And you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387. Or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients can save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast. We're also brought to you by Oxford University Bank. OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home, all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with the personal touch. When you call OUB, you speak directly with the live person. There's no 10 buttons to push, no 5 minutes to wait. What you also get at OUB is Kasasa. It's the absolute best cash checking account. And with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000 and refund ATM fees nationwide. To learn more about OUB, check out Live Oxford, bankoxford.com, or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. And we're brought to you by Bluff City Advisory Group. They're dedicated to building the future you desire. Founded in Memphis in 2019, their team is comprised of established and seasoned financial experts who came together to serve individuals and families of their beloved hometown. The firm is built on decades of wealth management experience. They've seen it all. The financial advisors have a reputation for professional excellence, and their clients rely on their high level of confidence and integrity. So whether you need guidance on developing a financial plan, creating a customized executive benefits program for your business, or preparing a detailed asset allocation analysis, Bluff City Advisory will provide forward-thinking and cost-effective investment strategies customized to uniquely fit each client. Bluff City values providing quality advice, experience, and access to all their clients, and they invite an open dialogue well beyond your annual review. Give them a call, 901-365-3447, or email Ben, that's B-E-N, at bluffcityadvisory.com.
So that state team in 2010, the one Cam would have played on had he gone there, they went 9-4.
Okay. They were really good on defense, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, they won the Gator Bowl. Actually beat Rich Rodriguez to death in the Gator Bowl. I think they scored 55 on him or something.
Okay.
52-14 over Michigan in the Gator Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Their 4 losses. Auburn at home, 17-14.
Such a win if you flip it.
I mean, duh. LSU, 29-7.
Okay.
You still got Cam, though.
Yeah,
see what happens.
Would have been different.
Alabama, 30-10 in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
Been a very difficult game. And then Arkansas, they got beat 38-31 in overtime. Those are their 4 losses.
So at worst, at absolute worst,
10-2.
they're 10-2.
And probably 11-1 or whatever. Because he is maybe the best college player I've ever seen.
Who was State's quarterback that year?
It's Ralph and Tyler Russell platooning.
Oh, yeah.
Been a little bit of an upgrade here,
upgrade.
guys. Dick Ballard was the running back that was really good on that team. Robert Elliott was on that team. Ladarius Perkins was on that team. Did a good job. Now they're out wide. They didn't have a whole lot. They had Chad Bumpus. He was still there, the Tupelo kid.
Yeah. He's all right.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot out there, but Cam figured that out. Defensively, though, what you were mentioning, really, really talented. Josh Boyd, Fletcher Cox, Pernell McPhee, KJ Wright was on that team. Jonathan Banks was on that team. Cam Lawrence was on that team.
They were good.
Yeah, they were good enough defensively to win.
They would have been a title contender, no doubt, with Cam at quarterback.
Yeah, Chris White was a senior on that team, had a good career. Yeah, a lot of dudes there. A lot of dudes on that team.
Yeah. Yeah, that 09 Egg Bowl didn't go as bad as it could have.
Oh, no. Hindsight. You take that L. They beat Ole Miss 31-23 because Masoli had a pretty good day that day.
He did play well that night.
He had 3 games that he just amazed me that they lost all 3. Arkansas up there in the Lightning. They had a lightning delay at some point. And then LSU. He almost willed those son of a guns to win over LSU.
Yeah, because if you take Masoli off that game in Fayetteville, it's ugly. Ugly.
Yeah, they got beat 43-36 by LSU. And if I remember correctly, it was because of that dumb penalty when they called Marquise Summers for diving into the end zone. You remember that?
I thought that was at LSU.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was at LSU.
I was thinking Arkansas again. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, LSU. That was the closest one that I felt like they really gave away.
Yeah.
Because Arkansas, they ended up losing by 14 because they didn't play well after the Lightning thing, I think. But that LSU one was actually winnable.
Leif makes a good point here, switching gears some.
Sure, whatever.
You know, the Hall of Fame guy, the guy that comes and tells everybody, welcome to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
How big is that dude?
Very large. I did see this yesterday. Very large.
I mean, he's like standing next to Bill Cowher, and it makes Bill Cowher look like a 10-year-old. Yeah, they're just doing the grass, and I hope to God they didn't open that gate over there because
you'll have dogs running all over the creation, won't you? At least one.
Be an unhappy
situation.
Be an unhappy person.
Okay.
In my house.
Oof. I love that they do the surprise announcements.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Although they become less of a surprise when you see that guy walking in the room.
Well, the minute he walks in the room, you know what it is, but you don't know that he's coming, and so it still hits them emotionally. Like Jimmy Johnson got really emotional yesterday.
Somebody said they saw on Twitter he's 6'9" and 4 bills.
Damn. He hadn't missed a meal in a while, I'll tell you that.
Played basketball in Poland, Leif says.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, sure.
He's taking advantage of his expense account. He's using that.
Pretty good gig, though.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, go around to people that are in the Hall of Fame.
Everybody's happy to see you.
A lot of genuine emotion out of Jimmy Johnson yesterday.
yeah,
That was cool.
Yeah. Bill Cowher was cracked up. I thought Jimmy Johnson was having a heart attack.
He did look like he was.
I was worried for a minute. I mean, I was literally thinking, I hope somebody has like the pads and stuff because I thought he was going to drop. I was concerned.
He was just choked up.
He was so choked up that he couldn't breathe. I was watching it going.
I was surprised he wasn't already in.
I was stunned. That was the first thought I had. Was Jimmy Johnson's not already in the Hall of Fame?
Because he gets credit in a lot of ways for building even Switzer's title team too. So
yeah, but dominant. If Jerry Jones would have just left that alone. That's what's weird. Jerry Jones could have just stepped back and said, "Hey, you guys."
They've won what 2 playoff games since the '95 Super Bowl?
Yeah,
I think that's right, or '96 Super Bowl.
Could have just said, "Hey, you got it, all good. I'm gonna go in my office and put my feet up and count money for a while." And literally could have just counted money until he needed a new office to put the money in.
Instead, just ended all of it.
Crazy. I would have told Jimmy. Literally, I'm the type of person I would have enjoyed the winning so much. I would have told Jimmy, "Hey, listen, at the end of the year, just drop in. Let's have a chat, say hello." And it literally would have been, "Hey, great job. You need anything?
Mm-hmm.
You good? Would you like a coffee, a cognac? What would you like? You don't want to stay in here? Cool. We're good. You want to stay? Okay, cool. Awesome.
I'll throw an extra number on that contract. No
you
problem.
Need some more money for another analyst? Cool. Have at it. Let my people and them know what you need. Holler if there's any problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here if you need me. That's literally what I would have said to him. I'm here if you need me. I assume if you don't holler at me, you don't need me. I'll stay out of the way. Keep winning. Because I get to go down there on Super Bowl Sunday and hold the trophy because I'm the owner.
Yeah, you get credit too.
Oh, yeah. They're going to congratulate me. And my comment's going to be, "Hey, just Jimmy's doing another great job. Great job. He's awesome. Love him. Thank the players. Been a great year here. I'm getting out of the way."
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get a ring, though.
See you in September.
And that trophy's going up in my office.
It is.
Because I'm the owner.
My trophy.
Why screw it up? Yeah, my trophy, my team. They could have had several of them.
Been a quarter century of futility for the most part for that franchise since that point.
Yeah. That's what you deserve. It'd be like literally somebody micromanaging Saban in Tuscaloosa. Who's the AD there? Byrne?
Mm-hmm.
Think he ever goes in and says, "So Nick, I was thinking.
I saw that 2nd and 8.
I didn't like that call. What are you doing? From now on 2nd and 8, I want you to." Can you imagine? Nick would be on the phone with people going, "Get me out of here tomorrow or yesterday."
We'll see. We'll talk plenty of national championship stuff tomorrow. We'll probably talk some Bachelor stuff tomorrow, or at least by Wednesday, because that's kind of what we do. So we'll hit both those. We'll discuss basketball. We'll slowly start getting some baseball before too long as well. So plenty going on. More long. We have recruiting picking back up 3 days before the dead period is over. They'll fill the staff, and then spring football not terribly far off as well. So appreciate everybody hanging out on the live stream today. We will talk to you again tomorrow.